Hey folks, welcome back to school. I just wanted to take a minute and talk a little bit about book clubs and specifically just kind of the how and why we are thinking about book clubs and what they look like for our students and what they look like in our classrooms. So I'd like to take a few minutes and talk a little bit about them here today. So this here is a class, certainly a class of students that we know, and this teacher is doing their very best to go ahead and make this a good and satisfying lesson. Except here's the problem. That teacher has looked at the STAR reports and realized that these students are actually not one class of students, but a whole range of different students with a wide range of different ability levels, which means that that one form of instruction, that one mode of lecture is just not enough to meet their needs. So this teacher decides, why don't I get rid of these desks, get rid of these rows, and instead think a little bit more about how I can use these groupings and these levels to my advantage. So instead of teaching one singular core text, this teacher has now decided to go ahead and integrate book clubs where students are reading leveled texts that are all written at an appropriate level for their developmental needs. In this point, the teacher can provide extra attention to students in the red group who may need extra help with certain reading skills without distracting or taking away from the learning happening in other groups. Similarly, the teacher can even bring groups together, for example, working with the green and yellow groups to talk about a common idea or a common development that has emerged over the course of the text. So teachers often ask me, hey, what do students actually talk about while they're doing this kind of work? What do they actually discuss if they're all reading different books? What do I, as a teacher, do? Well, you're facilitating discussions usually built around one of these three things. Either essential questions, such as something big that's a question like, what makes a hero? Something a little more abstract. Something that's focused on writing and the writerly craft. So, for example, asking each group, how does each writer accomplish their goal or the purpose? And so, even though students are reading different leveled text, they're still recognizing and acknowledging the different craft that goes into the development of that text. Or good old fashioned ELA skill, which is where you are using the specific standard or skill from the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. When we think about our students in Sparta, any of these can be really valuable ways to bring conversations together without expecting all of them to be reading at the exact same level at the exact same time. We know that's not feasible, and so this gives us a lot more flexibility about what our class looks like and how to make sure we're really meeting the needs of our students.
Created using PowToon.